Welcome back from that break. Now it's time to get into your communities to talk about some of the things happening in your communities. And this morning, we are putting our focus or our lenses in the community of the Shai Osudoku district right here in the Greater Accra region. We have a report filed by Fred Duhu, who is also a news anchor here at ChannelOne television as well as City 97.3 FM. But Kweku, before we take a look at the report or before we all get to watch the report, I have seen it and I'm sure you have as well. And I was very disturbed by the fact that, humans are sharing the same water with animals. And this is not even a stream or a flowing water. This is a stagnant water, a water in a pond. And the water has grasses in there. I mean,
I'm sure there's algae in there. There's all kinds of filth and
I cringed watching it
microbes that should not be entering human beings.
It was really uncomfortable for me watching it, because I don't know how we are okay for human beings, people that we call our brothers and sisters, people we call our neighbors, people we could relate to having to drink or use such water for domestic purposes.
I see the thing about, we've been talking about this whole issue of water security and the fact that Ghana may actually have to look to importing water because of the detrimental effects of galamsey. Then there are areas where there's not necessarily galamsey that's happening, but there are other challenges, and water is still an issue, right? But I think we should take a look at the report first of all. When we come back, we'll delve into some further conversation, try and understand what's really going on.
Water is life, but polluted water can affect your life. Access to water may not be an issue in Ghana, as revealed by a UNICEF report, which pegs it at about 87%. However, if the water comes from a compromised source, it could be detrimental to health. Water has no color, yet at Asebi in the Shai Osudoku district in the Greater Accra region, households rely on brown surface water filled with microbial impurities. To get a true picture of the situation, children have been observed using this water in their daily lives.
I am 8 years old. I am 12 years old. I am 6 years old. Already water.
For what?
Bath.
Children under the ages of 14 march with their bowls to the community water pond, where they chat and help each other.
Yeah, no, matter.
Eda.
Residents say all efforts to bring attention to their plight have yielded no positive outcome. This is not the only pond in the community.
Dry season, you feel it difficult. When we see as a mutual, and no say a because a pipe and Cassady Nibi.
300 meters from the first pond, women line up to fill their containers. They are the most affected by the water situation, as they use water more than men. They lament the difficulties faced in the community regarding water access.
Hey, are the same dogs. You can't say flogs, even flogs when you come back, Mr. And your face, Rem, Yedi Jari, Yesaya, the alarm, Goom, Nanny, Naya, Clay, the sea, and one my any fair.
Echo make a pipe lapo wabena. Wamapten you knock local Juaka wabime wamakeni who wamahinu. Chapin you gin on he, locken your back pay with pipe or Hawaii. Vote ko bepo nekanyaka ba masipono, emiki ko kanyaka ba masibe ya.
The population of the area is over 2,000. The road network to the community is in a terrible state. In instances where water has a negative impact on their health, access to quality health care becomes an issue.
Enum so ni bi ansa na nipa akosenso na ode abefie na ode aloma begum ansa na ode ensuo na ye aduane a enokre me dia na me kasa ha de me say nye Ghana ha nka Ghana ho enso ye kan Greater Accra ha kan Greater Accra ho ye ti Greater Accra na wa de mo mobile Accra mo environment na ye say ha kan Greater Accra ho na behwe ensuo ya on di sinema we on the aloma gum ansa na ni ye say ya Obi obi kwadi adanse say problem on farm eden.
I doubt if current or former presidents, water sanitation ministers, would use this water to clean their shoes or water their gardens.
Ensuo ho asem de emisa na ye ka say water is life. But o hwe de ekoso okrum ha pa e wo nsuo ho a nipa e wo okrum ha nom e bre wo nsuo ho pa.
I'm here to fetch water. Look at me. I'm a beautiful lady. Look at what water I'm drinking, water I'm bathing. It's not correct. We beg you people, come and do pipe for us.
The sad reality of the people in this part of the Greater Accra region impacts the overall achievements of the Sustainable Development Goal 6, which focuses on water and sanitation. Samuel Amwaku Mensah is a water, sanitation and hygiene specialist with UNICEF.
We still have about 17% of the population practicing open defecation on a habitual basis. And then water access stands at about 87% of our population, though there are significant differences between the access levels in the rural areas as compared to the urban areas. So these numbers notwithstanding, we have made significant progress over the past few decades, couple of decades, but there's still, as you can see, a bit more to be done to reach the SDG target, which is universal access to water and sanitation services.
Sanitation and water go hand in hand. If there's no water to wash hands frequently, it is obvious there is no water for water closet facilities. This exposes residents to the risk of open defecation. UNICEF is concerned about the use of surface water since its purity isn't assured.
There are issues with water quality as well. If you look at the last multiple indicator cluster survey conducted by the Ghana Statistical Service in 2018, I think the results were released in 2018, we see that there are some risks when it comes to water quality and microbial contamination at the water sources, irrespective of the source. So improved sources like pipe-borne water, as well as the unimproved ones, streams, dugouts, etc. The risks were recorded across the country at an average of about 48% of all sources showed some risk of contamination.
According to UNICEF, Ghana needs about $1.7 billion per year to address basic wash needs by 2030. Godwin Kofi Manya is a 68-year-old farmer in a nearby community known as Dedenya, a few kilometers from Asebi. He has been here for decades, mainly dedicating his energy to agriculture, producing maize and other crops. The road to his place is not motorable. Electricity poles have been extended to the community but have yet to be connected to the national grid. Among his challenges is water. He shares a pond with animals.
We go and fetch water at Doimu, the town you passed before coming, or the Shire Hills. That's where we get potable water to drink.
What's the distance?
It's about 4 kilometers, 4 miles from where we are now. Yeah.
And when you don't get water from there, what other water do you use?
We use the pond with the cows, where the animals drink. Normally when they come from bush, they drink from the dam. That's what we use. We don't have potable water here at all.
Through the intervention of a resident, Thet Ajukache, a borehole has been drilled for clean water as part of an initiative in collaboration with the church.
The community has lacked water for a very long time, since 1963. And has been somebody who is interested in changing the narrative. We wrote to organizations to help rectify the challenge here.
This notwithstanding, the water is salty.
We have some small little salt content in it, but for now the community can be managing this so we get the potable water here.
The Shai Osudoku district lacks basic amenities for life. Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, once said, "The progress of a nation should not be measured by the wealth of its leaders, but by the quality of life enjoyed by its people, access to clean water, electricity, health, and education."
Two critical issues are confronting the people of Shai Osudoku district, one being the water challenges, as well as the road network that is in a very deplorable state. They are calling on the state to come to their aid to fix the road network and also to give them potable drinking water.
Right, so that was a report by our very own Fred Duho, who is a journalist here at Channel One Television, as well as City 97.3 FM. Kweku.
Yeah, it's troubling, but I think I feel more sad.
Yeah,
you know that from since independence, when we decided that we wanted to do this experiment of running a nation, there are places in Ghana, and even worse, in the greater Accra region, right, that are suffering without potable water.
Yeah.
We've not been able to extend water supply
to them,
proper, healthy water supply to them. I don't understand it, you know.
Bakweku, we have the DC of Shai Osudoku on the phone right now. We'll briefly engage him. Hi, he's in the person of Fred Ofe. Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Welcome to Good Morning, dear cherished viewers.
Right. We have just watched a report about the lack of water in your area, and with regards to your constituents or the people in the community having to rely on contaminated water or water from the ponds. Beyond what the cameras were able to capture, can you briefly describe the situation in the Shai Osudoku district for us?
Yeah. Thank you for giving me. To be honest with you, we are facing water challenge. Connection to our based on Ghana water and community water base. When you come to the Shai side, which we have two traditional areas, which we are under Ghana water, there are a lot of communities within the vicinity who doesn't have water. And it's sad. Sometimes when you get to the dry season, for instance, some of the community members battle with animals to drink the same water. But my predecessors, before I assumed office for 2.5 years, also did their best. In a community like Asebi, which they are facing water challenge, they tried digging boreholes and other things for them because as they are not on the national grid. But the boreholes being drained are not coming. They are not producing the water that is potable for the community people. And when they dig the borehole too, within a short possible time, the water stops coming. So a community like the Asebi is facing a serious challenge. Barely about 2 months ago, we've been writing letters to Ghana Water Company at their head office. And the response being given to us sometimes demoralizes the assembly from putting in an effort. Recently, we sent our proposal to them, and an 8-kilometer water they wanted to draw from Oimu down to Asebi. An estimate of 1,700,000 plus was given to us as a bill that we have to pay. So I asked them, Ghana Water, you come and fix your meter, and you are giving us this bill for our assembly to pay to connect potable water to our community. It's unbearable. So to be honest with you, just 3 days ago, executive committee of the assembly sat down, and we finalized that we are writing to the regional minister and the sector minister for Ghana Water to listen to our plight and see what they can do to help our community. Because a community that you extend water to, and then you are charging the community with this huge amount, and even how much is our Assembly Common Fund and RGF? Total the whole year, can't even pay for the amount being charged us. So we will appeal to Ghana Water to listen to our plight. And to be honest, the sadness of it is the Ghana Water manager in our district, whenever you invite him to assembly meeting, he doesn't come. He always sends somebody. I personally invited him to my office so that he come and then we see the way forward for our people to get potable water. He never responded to my call, with evidence of letter being sent to him. So to be honest, we don't know what Ghana Water is doing for our people in the district. And a lot of communities are facing water challenge. But we are trying to complement what we have now. That have also been able to procure some polytanks for some of the community. And then the help of Nanado and Baumia procuring this drip machine for us. We've gotten a water tanker, which we are just waiting for the go-ahead to start the usage. And I'll make sure that these polytanks are being filled with water, potable water for them regularly until we get a final solution to our water problem. One of the saddest things also is the main pumping station from Akusin comes to our district before it is extended to Adenta Medina. And we are rather facing water challenges. It's pathetic. That's the reason why the Assembly and the Executive Committee is trying to invite the manager to come and sit down with us, and he is not availing himself for the Assembly, so that the Assemblymen can also ask him questions to resolve some of these issues, and he has never come. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Fay, I'm wondering why, as a DCE, the president's man on the ground, you can't summon somebody that's working for Ghana Water, you know, and if he doesn't show up when you request for him to show up, you can't sanction him. I mean, you're the DCE.
Yeah, boss, thank you for what you are saying. In fact, we are all human. We give benefit of doubt to everybody so that we see the reactions that will follow. And it is becoming like it's a persistent. He always sends somebody to come and represent him. Whilst we want him himself. So to be honest, we had an executive committee meeting on Monday, and we've decided, as we are speaking, a letter is ready for me to sign, and we send it to the regional minister for his behavior towards the assembly.
I see. Have you tried to reach his bosses, Mr. Brimer and co?
No, please. We work under the regional minister, so our report will go to the regional minister first, so, and then onward to his boss.
I see. All right. Well, we wish you all the best, and with your people deserve a much better condition of life and that they're experiencing. So we wish you all the best, and the efforts that you're making may it yield the fruits that we all are looking for.
Yeah.
All
Thank you so much. But I'll plead with my people, the insurance patients. I'm thinking good for them, and I hope something good will come out of that.
All right. Okay. Thank you for joining us this morning. So that was Honorable Fred Osei. Fred Ofei. He is the DCE for Shai Osudoku. Yeah.
Yeah, right, Kweku. In the studio, of course, we have our very own Fred Duho, who filed the report. I call him my Toby. Toby, good morning.
Babaga, good morning.
How are you?
I am well. Yourself?
We are okay. We are just disturbed by the report you've just brought to us this morning.
Kweku, how is it going?
Oh, you know how we do. You know how we do already. Yeah.
But in the morning, he's calling for some wache, but obviously not cooked with this water.
Of course.
So yeah, but Fred, I mean, the situation is upsetting.
Yeah.
It's upsetting because it almost feels as though some people matter more than others, or some people don't matter as much as others.
I don't know, but no matter how you look at it, I kind of think that it boils down to our commitment to make sure that each and every citizen is fairly treated. We all have access to the very basic amenities of life, no matter your location in Ghana. Unless maybe if it is done for you and good care is not taken and is destroyed, that would be a different conversation altogether. But in this case, you do not have it at all, and you are part of the capital of Ghana, which is the Greater Accra region. And if you tell even a stranger this, I doubt they'll really believe you that this is part of the Greater Accra region. You know, when we started all this project of telling people's stories and try to bring some transformation in their lives, and we started going to the hinterlands, the communities that are further apart from Accra, people were calling and were like, Greater Accra is being left out. It's as if everything is okay within the Greater Accra region. We should turn our lenses to some parts and communities in Greater Accra region, and you will see poverty at first hand. Akosia Autry has been to a number of areas, and when they tell you those places are within Greater Accra region, you will be shocked. And this is Shai Osudoku district. If I'm not mistaken, in terms of geographical size, it is the biggest of all the districts in Ghana.
I see.
They have vast land. This place extends all the way to Asuchari, where Sander comes from. It goes all the way, it shares boundary with some parts of the eastern region and Volta region as well. So they lack so many things that this particular district, this is where you locate this banana farm known as exotic farms.
Golden Exotic.
They are located here. Their road is not good. A number of tipper trucks you see bringing sand to the capital, they get it from that place, that district. The quarry sites you see are within this district. A number of factories are located within this district. Okay? And the road network is bad. But today, let's leave the road network for another day. See, the water situation, these are children under the ages of 14. When they drink this water, use this water for domestic chores, and they fall sick, what becomes of it? To travel on this road alone to even access health care is another challenge because there is no health care in the community.
You know, when the dam spillage happened, the Akosombo dam spillage happened, and I was privileged to go onto the field to see for myself how bad the situation was. I mean, we were seeing the report here on ChannelOne TV, but I didn't imagine it was that bad until I got there. And you could see how much the water, or the fact that they were using contaminated water, affected their skin, especially that of the children. And in this report you filed, I saw a baby being bathed with the same water. And I'm wondering if a child under who is not even up to the age of 8.
It's not a year.
Yes.
I mean, the baby that
a very little baby is using this water to bath. How is the child or the mother of the child going to deal with the skin issues that these will come with? It's very disturbing. It's really, really disturbing. And
they have found some, coping mechanism to apply these chemicals to the water, let it settle, at least the alum, so that it settles before they even use it. And whether that also have its own negative effects is another conversation. But largely, the water situation there is quite dire. They have about three dugouts in the community. One that is so brownish, the one that is also looking so gray, and water has no color. But if you see what these people are using, the surface water, don't forget, when it rains, it washes the surface of the earth into this pond. And all manner of impurities I mean, it is just too bad, just too sad that you see people using this water. Now, and anytime you invite me for this kind of conversation, I kind of try to touch on the SDGs because it's one of my major concerns. If countries go to conferences, the UN meetings, and they all go to accept certain targets, certain goals to achieve by a certain year, and 2030 is just around the corner.
Yeah.
You have assured that your people are going to have access and equitable access to water resources, potable water for that matter.
Yeah.
And then here we are about is it 6 years?
Away from that.
From that target. I mean, what are we doing to ourselves?
Yeah.
What are the pragmatic steps? What measures are we putting in place? For instance, if I should walk to the sanitation ministry today, water and sanitation ministry today, I should be able to see a lineup of targets that they will say, within the next 1 year, we've mapped out the entire Accra or Greater Accra region. We've seen that Shao-Sudoku district is one of the places deprived of water. We've seen that another district is also deprived of water. This is our target. This is what we are working in collaboration with the Ghana Water Company to ensure that we extend water to these areas so that we know they are walking the talk. You get it?
Absolutely.
But if there are no steps there, we are just moving by, I just don't know what to even say.
Yeah.
It is quite sad, my brother.
No, it is. And I think that, look, we will delve further into the SDGs because I'm actually interested in that and connecting the dots because you see, when we say, when we look at water and water availability, right, it affects health, which affects every other thing, right? So these children, imagine all the kinds of illnesses that you can get. Your education becomes compromised. If your education becomes compromised, endemic poverty cycle persists. So we may look at it as just, it's just a water problem.
Yes.
But
it goes
the
beyond
ripple
that.
effect of that, you see. Now, again, you're talking about the fact that health centers or health facilities are not even available, right? So then that's also a crisis on its own. You see, so the least we can do as a nation is to extend water coverage to them. You know,
the nearest place you can even find water, potable water, is some 4 kilometers away. So are we saying that 4 kilometers, let's just assume from Tesano to Cycle, probably, that lines cannot be laid all the way for these people to get water. And don't forget, like the DCE said, this water is going to be metered. So in effect, they are going to pay for
all
it.
your money. They'll pay for it. Yes.
So it is something that I believe there is no a bit of cooperation, or how do I even put it, like the various agencies are not working in tandem to make sure that they solve the problem. If indeed the district water officer goes for the meeting the DC is inviting him for, and they're able to put their heads together, put certain things on paper, and approach the right authorities, I don't think water issues should linger on for this long. So there is some, deficiency in the system when it comes to management of issues, handling of the district as a whole, and the water issue as it persists now.
So before we take a quick break, the things that I want us to discuss when we come back are the SDGs. We also look at the responsibility of Ghana Water Company in terms of its mandate to providing water across the country. Because you see, if you're giving a bill of $1 million to the assembly to pay, are people supposed to pay for their water to supply to the community? I don't know if that's a part of any conversation, because when water, I live in Achimota, when water was extended back in, I don't know, early 90s, into the Achimota, new Achimota area. Okay, that's Mile 7 Petroleum area. I don't remember at any point in time the community being bailed for water to be supplied. Do you understand? So where is this coming from? Where you are giving the community a bail for us to provide you water access. I don't get it. But anyway,
go for the break and come.
Yeah, let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll ask more questions and try and see if we can get some answers.
Welcome back from that break. We are still talking about the lack of water in the Shai Osudoku district right here in the Greater Accra region. But would love to hear from you. We want to hear from you to share with us your experiences or how the water situation is in your community. So you can send us a WhatsApp message on the number on your screen right now, which is 020-444-7033, or you could also call in when we open the phone lines. Let us hear from you and then talk about this, because it's very important then that we discuss these issues and then find solutions to them. But Kweku, before we went on the break, we all were talking about the reason why the assembly is being asked to pay a sum of money before water is being connected to their area. I was sharing my experience about when we moved to Dodowa. Because it was a new site and all of that, we didn't have water. We didn't have Ghana water pipelines laid in the area, and we had to depend on buying water or even a nearby well. I have experienced that before. Until I think after a year, the community wrote to the GWCL and all of that, followed up, and water was connected to the area at no charge, at no fee.
You were lucky.
Yes.
When I was leading a community in Ho, when I was in Ho, 7 years ago, when we needed water, we equally wrote to the Ghana Water Company Limited in Ho, the Water Regional Ghana Water Company Limited. And in actual fact, we also billed.
Oh, really?
Yes, we billed. We're given a tall list, huge sums of money at that time to pay. And as a community, we needed to mobilize resources from individuals to put together, to go see the manager before they took it up as an initiative now to connect pipe to that area. So, I mean, it happens when you have a new community that is underdeveloped. When Ghana Water Company also assesses the area, realizes that they will not be able to recoup the investment immediately, they would sometimes have to ask the community leaders to put their resources together to meet them halfway. That can be done. But in the case of the Asebi, the Shai Osudoku district, if Ghana Water extends water there, they'll be able to recoup their money because the population we are talking about here is huge. And they depend so much on water that, I mean, the business of Ghana Water Company Limited also saying they are going to invest and then getting their money tomorrow may not be the case. But over time, they should be able to recoup their money. I perfectly understand that it is not always the case that when they go to new sites, it is possible to extend water. I have personally experienced it. I led the charge for the people of the Ho Airport area before they got water. But the explanation they gave makes a bit of sense. It makes no business sense for them to extend water when the population is small. And I mean, just opposing that with the amount of investment going to be made. Fair enough. But if they are indeed on the ground, this particular Shai Osudoku district or the area in reference, they should be able to extend water and get their money back within a short period of time. So, I mean, it happens. That I admit it happens.
But you know, Fred, the challenge I have, and we will soon try and raise the Ghana Water Company people on the line so we can speak to them. The challenge I have is that it's the state's responsibility, right, to provide utility for its citizens. It's the state's responsibility.
Exactly the case. Good. No one can dispute
now,
it.
The Ghana Water Company Limited, even though it's a company that's limited, by law, it's a state-owned company, right? So the question that I have, and
maybe Stanley has
joined us on the line. So we have joining us on the line, Mr. Stanley Mate. He is the PRO for the Ghana Water Company Limited. Mr. Mate, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, welcome to ChannelOne TV.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you for having me.
You're on Breakfast Daily. Right, now, so we have a couple of questions for you. What is the Ghana Water Company's policy or mandate as far as the providing access to water across the country is concerned? Is it just urban areas, rural areas included, or peri-urban, areas? What's the mandate?
Okay, thank you very much. The Ghana Water Company Limited has the mandate to provide water to urban areas in Ghana.
Okay.
So urban and peri-urban areas.
Urban and peri-urban. Okay.
Peri-urban areas.
Okay.
Yes. Now there are some other communities that, by virtue of their location, will also be connected to Ghana Water. So, for instance, if there's a community along our transmission line,
yeah,
okay,
yes,
then we could also connect them.
Okay.
And then, although they could be rural, but because by virtue of their proximity to a line, we'll connect them. And then also by virtue of your location in terms of, let's say, proximity to the treatment plant, you could also be connected.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, there should be the availability of water.
All right.
If there's water available, then yes, we are mandated to connect you. And then we also need to find out whether when the connection is done, water will flow. What there are differences is what I'm saying. Now, if there's a newly developed area, what is supposed to be done is that before an area is developed, you need to consult the town and country planning at the district level.
Okay.
And then they will tell you the development plans for the area. Because they must ensure, or we all must ensure, that utilities are available in a particular area before it is developed. But in Ghana, we do the opposite without recourse to the town and country planning or with the district assemblies. Okay. So people just go to develop any area at all, and without recourse to the utilities. And then when they are done, then they put pressure on the utilities to send water. Now, the cost of materials in sending water is very expensive.
Okay.
And then every institution would want to be prudent with its resources. So if, for instance, you live very far from our pipeline or from the source,
yeah,
and we are just about just 2 or 3 buildings away,
yeah,
we wouldn't spend millions of Ghana cedis to send water to you. At the end of the month, how much are you going to pay? Meanwhile, there are people who need the water.
Okay.
And I'm also saying all these because there is a gap between demand and supply. So we have to be prudent with the way we do things.
Okay.
I'm also saying this at the back of the fact that the tariff is inadequate to enable us to make enough money. So we are always running at a loss. So we can't be doing some investments that would not yield us anything.
Okay.
In some cases, we could do that, okay? But then it must be close to breaking even.
Okay.
But if it is at a total loss, I don't think any businessman will do that, and I don't think anybody will encourage us to do that.
Okay.
Especially when you don't even have a building permit, or you do your development without recourse to Ghana Water, without recourse to the utilities, or without recourse to the municipal assembly. Okay.
Yeah.
So, for instance, in Accra, there's a very huge gap between demand and supply. So if, for instance, you go develop a place very far from the source,
yeah,
even if you connect the line, we may not reconnect you. You may not even get the water because of the hydraulic system.
Okay.
I hope you're getting what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
So we look at all these factors before we do the connection. Now, the other aspect is that sometimes we also need to look at our budget. We budget. At the district level, all the district officers are supposed to be looking out for newly developed areas who have the potential, or who need the water and have the potential to pay.
Okay.
because every district has a target, and you have to work things out to ensure that one, you are meeting your population in terms of supply and collection, because you can't supply the water without collecting your money back.
Yeah.
Because we need the money to buy chemicals.
Yes.
And other things. So you can't just send water because for the sake of it. Okay, so you have to be a bit business minded. There's also the social aspect of it, but you have to be a bit business minded. Now with the social aspect, we have, for instance, a department we call the Low Income Support Unit.
Okay.
So if there is a need for the Low Income Support Unit to visit a community or to work with a community, they will also do so. And for them, their connections are subsidized. They don't pay the full amount for the connection.
Okay.
Okay, and we have a number of organizations that support us doing that, including our own internally generated fund.
Okay.
Okay, so there are a number of factors.
Okay.
But first of all, there's your availability of water.
Now, Mr. Mate, so this morning we are talking about the Shai Osudoku district, the fact that they don't have access to potable drinking water and they depend on ponds and dugouts for water. We've spoken to the DCE, who mentioned that communications with the Ghana Water Company Limited indicates that they need to pay an amount of money before they can get access to water. And we wanted to find out, I mean, you've outlined all these issues or the reasons why sometimes they need to pay money. But we were wondering, are you aware of this problem?
I mean, there are several communities like that.
Asebi.
Right, Asebi,
Asebi
precisely.
After
just a moment. When I started my submission, I made mention of our mandate. Our mandate is for urban and peri-urban areas. And even for the peri-urban areas, I've told you that it has to be by virtue of their proximity to the source.
Okay.
Okay. So that is one factor.
They are about 4 kilometers away from potable water.
Currently, I'm not in the known of your facts, so I wouldn't even be able to corroborate that. So let me give you the general issues, and then maybe we can handle that particular issue differently. So if they fall into the category of, let's say, rural water, then it is supposed to be handled by Community Water and Sanitation Agency. We also have their mandate. We can't include into their jurisdiction.
Okay.
And so they wouldn't also have to include into our jurisdiction, although we both fall under the same ministry.
Right.
Okay, so there are a number of factors, and we need to assess them. And then based on that, we all make a decision. You understand?
Yes.
So if this community you are talking about falls under community water, then they have to seek community water, and then community water will do the needful. Now let me show you. There's an area close to in Accra, beyond Aboko Beach. Although they are in Accra, they fall under community water. There are some areas in Oyarefa. Although they are in Accra, they fall under community water.
Why is that, though?
Okay.
Why
now
is that, though?
Area, that is how the mandate is, and that's how the jurisdiction is.
Okay.
So, for instance, in times past, what was the population, and what was their location, and what was their proximity to our source? Now you realize that these areas are growing very fast. So there's a discussion between Ghana Water and Community Water to see how extension of pipelines can be done, because from our Dodowa booster station, there's enough water. So if you are able to get funds to lay huge lines towards the Ebui Mountain, Tichamante area, okay, then those people can be connected. Okay, but initially they fell under community water. Now we all realize that the population is such that they should fall under urban water. So there's discussion ongoing, and the expectation is that things will go well. There'll be enough funds to lay pipelines, and then we can have them connected.
Wow.
So
yes.
So that is how the dynamics are.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm glad you mentioned the Community Water and Sanitation Agency, because I was wondering who covers for the rural communities. Now, does this sound normal to you, just on a cursory, look, that a community could be built, let's say, $1 million in Shai Osudoku, which is in Greater Accra, even though it could be peri-urban or even rural, based on your, designations. Is it plausible that $1 million to connect water, if 1 million cedis to connect water, if the closest point is about 4 kilometers away? Does that sound plausible?
Okay, so I'm happy you have changed the denomination from dollars to cedis.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that. We don't charge in dollars.
Okay.
So let's clarify that one.
Sure.
Now, pipelines are very expensive. And I don't know if that area, I don't know if this bill was done by Ghana Water. But if it was done by Ghana Water, then it should be at a certain circumstance. And I'll explain those circumstances to you. So, for instance, if there's a community, that do not fall into our jurisdiction,
yes,
or a newly developed area, and we do not have plans for them as at now, most especially because they do not have the blessings of the municipal assembly to develop the area, or they do not have the blessings of the town and country planning before they develop the area. Then it will also have to go. It will also have to go through a certain process. Now, in going through the process, if Ghana Water Company Limited do not have the requisite funds to send the water to them, we could suggest to them that they could meet us halfway. Okay. So that we'll see how things go. So then we could talk to them. If they all can come together, and do some contribution, the Ghana Water Company can help them by laying pipelines for them ahead of our development plans. Because we also have development plans. We just don't do a pipeline haphazardly. We plan and budget for those things.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
For us, we don't produce the pipelines. We produce water.
Yeah.
And with the pipelines and everything, we need to buy.
Okay.
All right.
You understand?
Yes.
So if we haven't budgeted for such a program,
it will be difficult.
And it is not in our pipeline maybe for a year or for the following year or two, then we could request of them. If the community is ready to do that, then the two parties could come together and meet each other halfway so that the lines can be connected to them.
All right.
So every area and its peculiar situation and how it will be handled.
All right.
So if they are not happy with something that has been done for them, they should let us know. And we also have to be careful. It is possible that they have even contacted a private contractor.
No, they said it was Ghana
totally
Water.
Wrong.
They said it was Ghana Water. The DC said it was Ghana Water.
I'm giving a general assessment.
Okay.
There are some communities who will go on their own to just contract a private contractor to lay the pipelines.
Yeah.
It is totally and absolutely wrong.
Okay.
You understand? So you need to talk to Ghana Water, who will exhaust all the possibilities and ensure.
All right, fantastic.
That
Thank you.
The area is connected.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. We really appreciate your time this morning and your contributions to the conversation.
Thanks for having me.
All right, okay. So that was Mr. Stanley Mate. He is the PRO for Ghana Water Limited.
It brought so much clarity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you get the perspective I was bringing on board.
So, you see, when you mentioned Dodowa, the Dodowa has a major headworks there. Yes. And that's how come it was easy to connect without any expense. Do you see? So,
I mean, their plans should be able to, be communicated to the public. That, for people like this in the Asebi area, it's going to take us like 5 years to our plan to get water to you. But if you have the resources and you want us to meet you halfway, like you mentioned, that should also be discussed so that the people can get access to water. I mean, access to water and basic amenities should not be a burden and shouldn't be a struggle for the residents and citizens.
So what we want to do right now is to find out from our viewers where they live, if they have challenges with access to water.
Don't forget
Right.
access to water. Yeah. Me, I'm living at Tesano here. My tap flows probably midnight.
Yeah, but you have access.
Yeah,
no,
but
when
that one day, but
you have
I'm
access.
just driving your attention to the fact that shortage is also coming into the system gradually.
Yes, that's true.
And water rationing is becoming a whole issue and a conversation. So, I mean, we should be able to look at certain things.
We have joining us on the line Mr. Kofi Kapito. He is the CEO for the Consumer Protection Agency. Mr. Kapito, good morning. Hello?
Hello, Kwagu.
Yes, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Yes.
You know, Kwagu, unfortunately, we live in a country that we don't plan. Kwagu, let me tell you what. I agree with Mr. Stanley Mate that some of the things that he is saying.
Yeah.
Any community should not be allowed to develop their own.
Yeah.
Okay, if you go next door to Ivory Coast, Abidjan,
yeah,
they have a process whereby if the state is not ready or the authorities are not ready to develop any area, nobody can build there. They don't even sell the lands to the people. Okay.
Yeah.
And I've lived in Abidjan before.
Okay.
Abidjan, what the government does is the government will go to the chiefs, as we also have in Ghana, that the lands belongs to the chiefs.
Yeah.
So the chief will say, okay, I have 100 acres.
Yes.
I want to sell. Government will ask the chief, how much do you want to sell a plot? The chief will say, I will sell it 10,000 cedis a plot.
Okay.
The government will say, okay, me too, I will add another 10,000 for infrastructure.
Okay.
So it becomes 20,000. So government does the infrastructure first.
Wow.
Before the lands are sold
Wow.
to individuals.
Wow.
As is done in any civilized society. Okay, look, I was part of a World Bank program that they were talking about building reservoirs
Okay.
in various areas that don't have water. Reservoirs that you go to some towns in some developed areas outside Ghana, internationally, that somewhere in the boomies, they don't have access, but they have that reservoir for the community. In Ghana, like I said yesterday, the country has failed woefully. Look, TDC had a plan. TDC is a place that they will sell you the plot, which is called a service plot.
Yes.
A service plot means that all the amenities is already there. So until we start doing that and letting our chiefs know that you don't sell lands when Ghana Water is not ready to extend there.
Yeah.
When electricity is not ready to go there, the mistake they make is, like Salamate said, the so-called town planning people are not even involved. So before they can say, Jack, the area is developed.
It's developed, yes, yes.
Now you and I will go and buy the land. Then we will build. Then we try that we need water.
Yeah.
We need electricity. The assemblies has to be aware that they cannot allow areas to be developed without all the institutions agreeing as to how they will lay infrastructure.
Yes. All right.
And that has been the issue of Ghana.
All right. Thank you.
If you go to Rwanda, Rwanda, do you know that even if you buy a plot in a certain area and you don't build it within the shortest time possible, they will take the land from you.
Yeah, it means you're not ready. Yeah.
They're not ready.
Yeah.
And that is what we are afraid the lawmakers, the politicians, everybody is afraid to do in Ghana.
Yeah. Mr. Kamito, thank you so much for your thoughts and your contributions. We really appreciate your time. Thank you. That was Mr. Kofi Kapito. He is the CEO of the Consumer Protection Agency right here in Ghana. Yeah, Fred. So wrapping up the conversation, I mean, the way it is, I think that it's a very serious, thing that government needs to address. and address head on. You know, we have a few messages. Let me just quickly read these ones and then we can just. John Collins from Adenta says, do these kids stand a chance not to get life-threatening infections? With circumstances like these, they'll be wrestling with health conditions and complications all their lives. These things never affect people who are to do something about them, because they don't live in such situations, so they can't relate, and they are dragging their feet in saving lives and changing things.
Okay, cool. There's another message here that says, good morning, Senior David. The MP of that constituency must treat it as a matter of urgency and get a mechanized borehole for them. Honorable Ransford Mensah, Assembly Member for Potabuso Electoral Area, Bibiani, and Yawase, right.
Yeah. As for the borehole, they've dug they've drilled a number of them in the community, but it dries up very quickly. I don't know.
Which means the water table is
so it is another. The only solution is to get the Ghana Water Company Limited to lay pipe to that particular community. Else they will be there for a very long time. They pay taxes, so the government must move in and make sure that
they said that they've not had water since 1963.
Yes. So I think that the issue still circles back to the same point. Government needs to be properly proactive about not allowing communities to develop when they are not ready to service them. As simple as that. Unless we are willing to do that. And you see, these are the hard things of leadership. These are the hard decisions that leaders must take.
But Kweku, then again, I mean, as Mr. Capito said on the phone, people, I mean, we are not ready to develop an area, but then you see people start living there. It just takes one person, and then there's another person.
But that's why we have a government.
And there's another person, and people are not doing their works. That is why we have these situations.
No, but that's why we have a government.
Because if somebody encroaches on a land that you've not even paid for, sometimes they are just quarters, and they live on the land.
See, that works with new settlements. But this is a community that has been in existence for over 5 decades. This is a Asebi community after maybe people don't really know where Asebi is. On your way to Akosombo, when you get to the Shai Hills Resort, Reserve, just branch to your left. You are going to Asebi. You are from there. You are going to Droimo to Asebi. So it is just a community that has been there for ages. So it is not as though some people it's a new settlement that they are now begging the government to. No, ballot boxes go there.
Yeah, exactly.
A campaign posters are there. Yeah. So what are we saying? If it would be done, it takes a bit of commitment. Just get committed to it and say these people are equally citizens and they need water. We have to give them water.
That's all.
That is it. They are producing farm produce, a number of maize, other crops, and a whole lot over there. So what are we saying?
My question is, are we trying to say that since 1963 we've not
noticed
down
that this is a community that has really sprung up and developed to this level.
To even extend water to them?
When you drive on that road street, you are going to the capital of the Shao-Sudoku district, which is Dodowa.
Dodowa, yes.
That's the road that connects what's the name? Asuchari area to. So I mean, it's a community that has been in existence for long, and the tipper trucks are also destroying their routes and everything. I mean, it takes a bit of leadership. Let's be firm, take decisive action when the needs be. Look at what UNICEF is saying, that almost 17% of water sources are contaminated. It doesn't really matter which water sources. They are been talking about the pipe water we are drinking, let alone the surface water.
And the interesting thing is that contamination is not just colloidal, which is the one we see, right? The colloids in the water make you see clear water.
Clear water,
know,
but
clear water
is equally contaminated. When I was interviewing
biological contamination, usually you won't see it.
When I was interviewing the UNICEF WASH guy, he mentioned that what we parade around as pure water, we should stop it.
Okay. Fred, we have a call on the line. Let's speak.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning. Your name, please.
Good morning. This is Andy.
Andy, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Blue Wall, Ada.
Okay. What's the situation with water in your area?
So terrible. So terrible. We have the pipeline but for almost a year, not even a sand flowed through the pipe.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
Almost a year.
Yeah. Yes, almost a year. Almost a
Wow.
year now.
All right. Thank you very
Fred,
much.
Fred know there. Fred know there. That's Luo.
Fred
Yes,
knows the
I've
area.
been there.
Luo.
I've
Yes,
been
he
there.
know Luo. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, where the police people came and terrorized the people.
That's the area. Okay.
Over the Songo
Yes.
issues,
All right.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the call. So please let your calls come.
You know where the water river is or the water leak is.
When you're going to Sugar,
Yes.
Right.
You see, I understand that's the only, water in Ghana now that is not polluted like the other Galamsey ones. But do you know that the people, residents in Sogakope, they get water flowing through their taps once a week.
Oh, wow.
They are at the bank of the river.
Yes.
But they have water flowing through their taps once a week. And you have to even wake up at night
To
to
fetch
get
the
water.
water.
That is Sogakope, where you can just walk, enter into the whole water lake. You can do anything you choose to do with the water lake. The people are just by the bank of this river. I tell you that they get water flow through their taps once a week. Where did they go wrong? So there is some engineering problem in the system that must be corrected. I think maybe Stanley Martin and his management would have to take, they have to take stock and reassess their pipelines. Maybe the pipe that were laid in those areas were those small ones that today can't really distribute water evenly. But over years, that community has developed so fast that
once a week speaks to rationing. So for me,
there is a whole lot of problems,
I
and
am also
it's
facing
been
that
persisting more than
situation
over 5 years now.
Wow.
Same here.
The issue there has been persisting more than 5 years now.
Wow.
Yes, so there is some issue that needs to be addressed head on. As far as water is concerned, there must be some pragmatic steps that must be taken to resolve these issues.
John Collins has sent another message here. He says, I want you guys to know that future generations will thank you for sounding the alarm on these situations. I'm saddened beyond respite at this point. We have these things going on, and yet people are worried about speed limit exemptions and other unnecessary issues. When I see them fighting seriously for all these luxuries in Parliament, I just cringe. We have a call on the line.
Yes. Hi, Stephen. Good morning.
Good morning.
You are calling us from Aoshi. Tell us the situation in Aoshi.
Please, like 3 weeks now, we don't have water flowing in our taps.
3 weeks?
3 weeks. Aoshi Anya Enclave.
How are you managing?
We have been buying water from afar.
I see. Where'd you buy water from? How far from Anya Aoshi do you buy water from? Where'd you go?
We have this thing, Deeper Life Church. They have borehole over there, so we have been fetching it from there.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for calling. Yeah.
So it looks like the water, the water issue is
now,
not just...
That speaks to other challenges. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Galamsey has something to do with this one. Where now is the issue of the volumes of water that are available to even process before distribution. You see, because remember in Sawam, the headworks got choked a few years ago. And for months, they didn't have any water because the headworks were choked with silt. Okay, and this is all from Galamsey. Yeah. So I won't be surprised if some of these problems are happening, but Ghana Water is sort of managing its most.
Or to the water river is less than 2 hours drive when you are driving. It's less than 2 hours.
Yes.
And by kilometers or miles, we should be looking at like some 90 miles thereabouts.
Fred, just hold your thoughts there. We have a call on the line. Hi, Majwa.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Majwa. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from Kwadwi.
Right, let's hear you.
Okay. Our water flows just once in a week.
Okay.
But for the past 3 weeks, we don't have water.
Wow.
And this is Kwadwi at the heart of Accra.
Wow.
So how do you
Very
get water?
So we buy from a tanker.
Okay.
And it has been increased from 80 cedis. It is now 150 cedis.
For which size? Which size of tanker?
It's Kwabenya, the atomic runabout.
The size, the volume of the tanker you're buying, the 150 is for what volume?
I think it's a 1,000-gallon one, the smaller one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So 1 poly tank here.
Wow.
Major, thank you for calling.
Thank you for calling. Thank you for letting us
You're
know.
welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So as we're already saying here, the water issue doesn't only...
It spreads and cuts across.
Exactly. Aside the fact that people don't have it at all.
Yes, you don't have it at all. You have it, but it's being rationed. And then maybe before I leave, there is this multidimensional poverty index that survey that was conducted by the Ghana Statistical Service.
Yes.
That points to the fact that multidimensional poverty index complements monetary poverty measured by reflecting the deprivation that people face simultaneously in different pathways, which are essential to guarantee a dignified life. Now, when you are deprived by one, lack of clean water or electricity, poor health or malnutrition, employment, when you are deprived in any two of this, know that you are multidimensionally poor. So our poverty, and when they are pointing to the fact that people are still sinking down the poverty levels, it should be worrying. These are the petty things that, people who come up with this kind of service, like the Oxford University, they are not living here with us. And their system is quite different from, these things are not of issue. What concerns them is something that needs to be so weird. You get it?
Yeah.
But when they come to us and they are hearing these water situations here, somebody living without water for a week, how is the person surviving? And that goes to tell you that if you don't have money to 150 cedis to purchase water, how are you going to cope for the next 1 week?
Yeah. And how long will that water last?
Where will you be getting the 150 cedis from?
Hello? Okay, we've lost it. Sorry.
Where will you be getting the 150 cedis from if you are not even employed in the first place? So there are a whole lot of systemic dysfunctionalities that must be addressed head on. I am saying that the Volta River or the Volta Lake that got a number of communities flooded some years ago, it is still there. Okay, what will it take, or how much of an investment will it take to say that, okay, we want to make sure that the whole of Greater Accra region, even let's take Volta region out, even though they have the water right in their passing through the region, let's even ignore them and say, we want to say the whole of Greater Accra region want to solve water problem. Factories should be able to have water 24/7. Households should have water 24/7. How much will it cost to lay pipeline from the Volta River, install a whole pumping station there, and pump water to the entire Greater Accra region?
Please hold your thought there. We have Benji from Ashaiman. Benji, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, what's happening in your area?
All right, so in my area here, Ashaiman, Zenu, the water used to flow, but of late, it delays. Sometimes 3 days, sometimes 4 days, sometimes a week. And it's really disturbing. It's really, really disturbing. So sometimes what we do is we just pack, when we hear there is water, closer to us, we just go there with our gallons and get some. Or there are these boys using the bubuya supplying to the homes and all that. So that's what we are managing for now. But I want to speak on the Galamsey, which is the major cause of these two.
Okay.
You see, when we are speaking on this issue, the fight of Galamsey, and we are not trying to cut across, I think we should give it to the chiefs and non-partisan people to fight this. Because this one will say, I'm bringing soldiers into your community. And it's a fact that MPP, where they get their vote, most of these communities are mining communities. You understand? So MPP will be fighting with anger, with Nanado will be putting his... There are advisors on the ground, which are the polling station executives, that would say, hey, Mama came here and tell us that. Or Mahama came here and tell us that. If you vote for me, look at what Nana is using soldiers to do. Look at how soldiers are bullying you, and it's true. A whole president, former president, and trying to...
Oh, we lost him on the line. Okay. So, the Galamsey issue is definitely an issue that is impacting. But like Fred was saying earlier, the discussion about water, when it comes to the Volta Lake, is the one lake that has not, by and large, been affected in any way by galamsey.
Right.
Is there, like our only water body that's left really that hasn't been impacted.
But we are still not able to.
But then again,
water.
I mean, maybe Ghana Water needs to explain what their challenge is in terms of making use of that water body and providing people who live around the, like Sugakope, for example, so that Sugakope should not be having water once a week.
They buy water from gallons. People use the aboboya with this Kufuor gallon, the yellow gallons, fetch it to homes, and they buy.
Wow.
Yes.
Anyway, Fred.
Out of abundance.
Yeah.
many are still.
No, it's like that's what we call diabetes. It's like poverty in the midst of abundance. You have a lot of sugar in your blood, but your body is not able to utilize it. That's diabetes. It's the same thing. Okay.
So we have a call on the line, calling all the way from Yendi. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Right. Share your thoughts with us.
When we are talking about water issues, those of us in Yendi, for us, we'll just keep quiet because government has cut for several times to give us water. More than almost getting to 8 years now. We are not getting the water. And if you come to the Yendi Municipal Hospital, doctors are diagnosing people with water issues. That is diseases related to water.
Where'd you
giving us the potable water that we need?
Where'd you get your water from?
Whether we are part of Ghana or not.
Where'd you get your water from?
We get it from the Dakar River to Dakar.
Okay, so
for over 60 years now. That's the only main source that we are getting the water from.
Wow.
Does that mean that there's no pipe connection or Ghana water connection in the whole of Yendi?
There is. And the pipe doesn't reach all the areas in Yendi.
Right.
Okay.
Yesterday, our systems are not, the problem of Ghana is the system. Yesterday, I watched a particular segment on your TV with Kelly Kuda. The Rwanda, what they are doing in Rwanda, if they implement it in Ghana here, we'll be enjoying the leadership that we'll have. But here, if the problem is just about leadership, that's what I have to say now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right.
Cool. We have a message here from Fidelis Nyama. He says, what country at all is this? No water, no electricity. All these things are happening and then they wonder why Ghanaians are leaving the country. Kweku, you are right. For all you know, there are pipelines that are choked, blocked, or just outright served. Nkrumah is turning in his grave.
All right. And on that note, we will wrap up the conversations here. Thank you very much, Fred, for
Thank you
coming
very
through.
much. And
thank you for the report.
Maybe a thanks also goes to Native Allure. They gave me this buttercup. I got it from the exhibition.
This is Ghana.
I bought it from This is Ghana. What did you buy from This is Ghana?
Next
time when you come to
me,
This
I have
is
my
Ghana.
package. I've been thanking them.
So thanks to Native Allure for this beautiful buttercup. I bought it
looks
low,
nice.
but
It looks good.
It looks
I need
nice.
to
It looks
appreciate
good.
the fact that I got it from This
This
is
is
Ghana.
Ghana. Okay.
exhibition.
All right. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we're back, there's still more on Breakfast Day. We're going to enjoy some music as well.